Free trade, fair trade wars, tariffs, it's all over the news. Today we're talking trade issues, which sounds wonky and complicated, and they kind of are. And there are a million other things you care about, but here's why you should care about trade. Because those new tariffs on steel and solar panels and washing machines may actually be taking us to the cleaners. But how could that be? After all, protectionist trade policies claim to protect our jobs. Okay, bear with me. I have milk, you have cookies, and I trade you some of my milk for some of your cookies. Now we both have both. I dunk, you dunk, we both win. That's free trade at its finest. Voluntary, mutually beneficial exchange. It's basic human nature. Now let's go macro. Big. And we see that producers of things like steel do the same thing, competing to trade their steel for cash money all over the world. But what happens when a foreign producer starts selling us their steel at a lower cost than we can produce it? Bingo! It threatens domestic steel. So politicians step up to the mic and they say, yes, like all of you, I believe in free trade, but I believe in fair trade more. That translates to, hey, let's hit those foreigners selling us low-cost steel with the 25% tariff to sell it here. That'll make our steel way cheaper and more attractive to buyers and save this dude's job. So now it's fair, right? Just like golf handicaps and participation trophies are fair. But back to that 25% tariff. Guess who ultimately ends up getting hit with it? Wait for it. Wait for it. You do. Tariffs are a backdoor way to say tax on imports. And like every other tax, they get baked into the price and passed on to the consumer. But it gets worse. Because that tariff just made our steel the cheapest you can buy, domestic producers can now raise their prices to just under the import tariff-priced steel. In fact, according to Fortune, today's steel tariffs could make cars and trucks $400 more expensive per vehicle. With aluminum tariffs, beer, soda, soup, beans, even these tasty little guys could go up too. Okay, maybe this sounds alarmist, less alarming. Okay. But it's basic economic reality. And this has all happened before. Back in the 80s, voluntary import restraints, aka trade restrictions, raised the price of Japanese and American cars by hundreds, burdening American consumers with a $4.3 billion tax. This means domestic car buyers paid $200,000 a year for every job saved in Detroit. That's way more than the annual auto worker's salary. And it's money that could have been better spent in voluntary trade for things of actual value. And that's the key. Tariffs aren't just massively ineffective. They also stifle growth and destroy jobs. And in some cases, like we've recently seen with Harley-Davidson moving production overseas, tariffs can actually chase domestic jobs away. In fact, steel restrictions in the 1980s were touted as saving 17,000 steel industry jobs. Whoop. But when we go deeper, we find that because steel prices went up, demand went down throughout our economy, reducing jobs in other industries by 52,000. And that's a net loss of 35,000 jobs. Bye-bye! But enough with the nitty-gritty. Here's what you really need to know. Since 1932, the average U.S. tariff on imported goods has fallen from nearly 20% to less than 4% in 2016. During that time, quality of life skyrocketed. Truth. Throughout history, countries with the freest trade don't just flourish most. They're also the most tolerant, because free trade is about way more than just milk and cookies, and dollars and yen and francs and pounds. It's about everyone bringing their unique strengths to the table to help everyone else through the free and open exchange of ideas and knowledge and innovation in a friendly, neighborhood, global competition that uplifts everyone. That's mutual benefit. Win-win moments that give everyone the opportunity to make life better. But it's also about milk and cookies. Dunk 'em if you got 'em.